you would all agree that 2 is better than 1, which was one of the reasons why Martin, the host of Knit365 Blog, and I decided to collaborate this year on the Westknits mystery knit-along called Twist and Turn. So we decided to do not 1, but 2 Zoom parties to celebrate the start of this MKAL. Here is the second party. You get to see it uncensored and unedited. Hope you enjoy.
I've muted everyone, so Irina, unmute yourself.
Okay.
There we go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our second party. So we did one earlier today. We had almost 90 people joining at that time. It was a blast. We tried doing some party games and it worked quite wonderfully. We got to meet some of the people. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna run some polls and Martin is gonna do that. Martin is gonna ask you some questions, and then as you answer the questions, we're gonna pull some volunteers. So if you wanna answer the question, there is this icon where you can raise your hand. So just click on that and we'll get to ask you questions. If by chance we don't get to you, because sometimes we had we trying to keep it under an hour. So if we don't get to you, you can try to answer the next question because they're all pretty answerable. So first of all, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. And we're so happy that you are with us. And it was so lovely this whole month where we did this preparation for the start of Mystery Knit Along. And I want to thank all the humans of Westknits, everyone who volunteered to be part of that series. I loved meeting you and getting to know your story. If you haven't done that, and if you want to be part of Humans of Westknits, I'm going to continue, as Martin called it, my own twists and turns. I'm going to continue with this series throughout the knit along. And we're going to talk not only about what, your personal story, but also about the clues. So we're going to have one episode per each clue. And I have people for the first 2 clues, but if you want to volunteer for the 3rd and 4th clue, please shoot me an email to fiberchats@gmail.com and we'll set something up. I hope you guys all have a drink. Let's do a little toast to the start of the Mystery Knit Along. Cheers, and thank you all for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Lovely to have you here.
I haven't been drinking beer since the 6 o'clock when UK time. I have had a break and I've had some Diet Coke, I promise. Although I have stopped knitting for the night now. Well,
I was trying to convince Martin to continue drinking so he wouldn't be knitting too much and get way ahead of all of us. So.
That's fighting talk. I guess you're all here, obviously, to talk about the MKAL. On the last group, there was someone, it was amazing. He didn't want any spoilers and he hasn't looked at the video or looked ahead. He got his mum to look at the clue and decide which way round his wool went, which I think is super committed to not having any spoilers. But we did go through if anyone's going to hold their sample up just to do any spoilers. So if anyone does show, just make sure you shout spoiler, just in case there is someone on here that doesn't want to see, then they've got a chance to have a look away and not have a spoiler. But I'm going to show a spoiler.
I'm just going to grab mine for a second while you're showing.
I've done 1 full pattern repeat. And that's it. And then I was like, oh, I had an hour before this Zoom and I thought I could do another 2 or 3 rows. And I thought, no, it's late. Don't mess it up. I found the beginning really fiddly, but I've done 1 full repeat.
I love those.
So I was very, very happy. Irina's not allowed to show hers yet because it's going to reveal her colors, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
We're going to do that.
We'll start off with our first question in a minute, but obviously you've all got housekeeping. You've all got the chat. Kieran's already found the chat. Thank you. If you want to ask us questions in the chat, either stick your hand up. You can click on the reactions button on the bottom of your screen and put your hand up. and we can call you. You can come off mute and chat to us, or stick a question in the comments box and we can answer it, or we can get to you.
And yeah, feel free to knit, feel free to cast on, feel free to have your drink, and we'll just keep on talking. So
yeah, absolutely. But obviously, thank you all for joining. And as Irina said, this is the second one that we've got, but we thought we would start with a simple one and just find out a bit more about where people are in the world. So we're going to do some polls. So I'm going to launch the poll, and then you can click and tell us where in the world are you. So UK and Europe, US and Canada, Australia and New Zealand, or rest of the world. You can't see this, so I said this on the first one. It's really funny because I can see the graph keeps changing. So we'll give you a couple of seconds and then I'll end the poll, and then I will share it around. There's one of you that's identified as rest of the world, so please be prepared to come off mute and tell us where from the rest of the world you are.
can you please, like, if you're the person who said the rest of the world, can you please put your hand up? We want to hear from where you're from. Okay. Yeah.
Me, I'm from South Africa. So waited up till midnight. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much
I have a
for
few hours
staying
of
up.
knitting up ahead of you, but yeah, I'm only on row 9 at the moment. So slow going for me.
How are you enjoying the first 9 rows?
I love it. I went ahead and watched the full video and it's gorgeous. I just love it.
Can you show us all your colors?
Yes, I can show you the 2 colors. This is main and contrast, and then color pop is this one.
That's
nice.
And I was worried about the contrast, but it's turning out really well, so I'm happy with it. I'm not worried anymore. I'm just knitting.
Excellent.
And,
did you start watching the video and then start casting on, or did you watch the whole video?
No, I watched the first bit and then I forward right until the end to see what we are doing, and then just decided to cast on and get going.
I recorded it. If you watch my Vlogtober videos, I've recorded my reactions live. I wasn't planning on doing it. And for some reason, I woke up really late this morning because I had a day off, and ironically, I slept in, and I woke up and it was like 10 to 9. And I was like, why is it so late? And I had the notification on my phone that Stephen had put the video out, and I just sat down and started watching it. And then I was like, why are all these holes? Why are we casting off and casting on? And I just carried on. And I always just like grabbed my phone. It's like, I'm very confused. And then all of a sudden, I didn't jump to the end. And all of a sudden, there was the reveal. And I was like, and I'm not going to spoil it in case any of you haven't gone that far yet. But I was just like, oh my. And I'm glad I kind of recorded my face as I was going, because I was literally gobsmacked. I was like, I have no idea where this is going. What is he doing? I think at one point I went, in Stephen we trust, I'm sure it's going to be fine. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's amazing.
Do we have anybody from Australia or New Zealand?
We have a few of you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Me? This Australian? Yeah, hello. Well,
hey, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you, Irina and Martin and everyone? It's great. It's exciting to be here. I actually kept coming back and refreshing to make sure I would get in this morning. I'm in Melbourne, and oh, what can I say? Well, I was one of Irina's humans of Westknits, but I wasn't very prepared. So I just because I thought it was just going to be like a street interview where just, so I wasn't really prepared at all. But it was still fun. But I think kind of not being prepared is kind of a thing, because I actually have, and at this time of my life, it seems to have increased, but I have a lot of anxiety about when there's things to prepare for, executive functioning, and it's really quite difficult for me. And that's actually, Martin, I've only just discovered your podcast, and I absolutely love when you talk through how you're trying to figure out how you're going to actually do things. Like, how am I going to do this in the day? Okay, I think I'll do this bit and I'll do this bit. And you're thinking out loud, the figuring out. And I find that quite calming, because I'll have more, if I have more than one thing that's coming up, I start to get anxious, and I'm like, I don't know which one to do. I don't know how much energy I'm going to have. So then I'm like sitting there not doing any of them or scrolling my phone. So anxiety about like how to complete things and how to execute things is it's quite a big thing for me. And knitting brings that all up, but it's also one of the ways that I'm kind of working through it. Because with knitting, yes, I do get stressed about my knitting. Yes, it does seem high stakes, especially if it's something I've promised to someone, or it's got, they're going to grow out of it or something. But at the same time, it is knitting. So it's like, it's a little sort of simulation or microcosm of the world and other things in life. So in the knitting, I can kind of work out some of that stuff and work through it. And who am I? What am I telling myself? What am I telling myself about what it means to do something? About like, oh, I'm in trouble because I haven't finished it, or so whatever it is, whatever the stories that are coming up.
And the biggest thing that I learned early on, that there's no knitting police. Like, I remember doing a sock pattern not long after I started knitting, and it was a wrap and turn heel. And I was at my local yarn shop for a knit night, and I was just getting so frustrated that I couldn't do this wrap and turn on 2.25 mil needles. And one of the ladies at the shop was like, but you were doing German short rows on that scarf a couple of weeks ago. Why didn't you just do that? I was like, well, that's not what the pattern says. And it was almost like that light bulb. I was like, oh, I can just swap that for that, because I can do that and I can't do, And then I was like, oh yeah. And sometimes it takes someone to say it externally out loud to you to then go, oh yeah, I can do that.
Kieran, when you and I met, you were freaking out about the colors, and you tried different colors. Did you? What's your final decision?
So like at the moment, today and yesterday, I've sort of see, when my focus gets too big with all the options, my focus has been narrowed, because only one of the 3 kits that I ordered has actually come. And my focus got narrowed because it was more and more different things that I was interested in. There wasn't, I was like, there's no way that's going to come in time, so I can't really do that. I've spent too much money, so I can't really buy more. But the thing is, there is actually, so the first kit that I bought, I went directly to Walk Collection's website, because Walk Collection was one of the Stephen and Penelope kits. And the really cool thing is that for like several years, I've seen really nice patterns in magazines and stuff, probably in like Liner magazine, that used Walk Collection. And I looked it up, I'm like, oh, this is really mysterious, but then I can't find the yarn anywhere. And I remember in the past going to Walk Collection website, and I could make not head nor tail of it. I can't understand a lot of dyers' websites. Like, I couldn't understand the thing. I didn't know what shop updates meant. I didn't know what any of it meant. I'm just like, oh, they use this yarn in the pattern, but it isn't there. So I can't make that. I can't make it look like in the pattern. And then it was on Stephen and Penelope, I was like so frustrated that I didn't get any of their kits. So then I went on their website, and I think it like motivated me to actually figure out the website and figure out, like, get past the bugs and stuff. And they had some MKAL kits, and I got excited and I ordered one, and that was the first kit that I ordered. But then I immediately started to freak out, because I started to think that the colors were too close in value. And
hold that thought then, because that's a neat segue into our next poll. You didn't know that, but that is a neat segue.
So let's see who else wants to say hi. Do we have somebody from UK or Europe who wants to show us?
Probably my colors, by the way.
That's
I
blue.
love that pink. Hi, Jill.
Did we?
Hi, I'm in Halifax in West Yorkshire, so in England. And
Welcome.
yeah, just given up the knitting for the day, but yeah, I thought I'd hop on here and see how everyone's doing. I haven't got very far because I've actually been finishing. I don't know if anyone else is in this position, but I'm not really a monogamous knitter, but I was kind of quite like wanting to have plenty of time for this, so I've been like trying to finish other whips, and just today, just this evening, I finished my latest sweater, which is the Hello from My Colors by Jessie May Designs. It's blocking as we speak, so I'm kind of like quite last minute. I've just cast on all the I-cords, and yeah, I'm loving it. And it's
What's your colors?
okay, well, they're just here. I've gone all autumnal actually. I'm Team Stash, and so I've got these hulls. So I was kind of chuffed to see I've got loads of hulls anyway in my stash, and
Yeah.
I was quite happy to see loads of kits. So that's like, I don't know if it's showing up, but that's like a really dark sort of heather brown. That's kind of a what's called dune. So yeah, bracken and dune are my main color, contrast color.
Yeah.
And then from Attic Spin Dye, I've got this really like kind of variegated goldens and stuff.
Nice.
It's
Pretty.
It's more yellow, more mustardy than it's showing up there, but yeah. So kind of quite the same sort of color family, but yeah.
Thank you. Do we have anybody from America who wants, or Canada?
Sharon waved a physical hand. Hi, Sharon.
Brian,
Hi.
okay, sure. Brian, you go next.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm from Ontario, Canada, pretty close to Niagara Falls, between Niagara Falls and Toronto, Ontario. So I was able to get started earlier today, and my colors are a really lovely blue that's got some tonals to it, and my contrast is a yellow.
That's pretty.
And
nice.
for my reach back here, and that's going to be my pop of color. So my swatch came up like this. So I'm quite excited.
I love that you swatched.
I had to actually go up a needle size to get close to gauge. A lot of people I had read about had to go down. So
do you guys watch?
I've just cast on the basis that I always have wool left over, so it will be fine.
There you go.
I'm definitely team wing it.
Okay, Brian, tell us about your choice.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brian. I'm from Florida. So I just finished dealing with Hurricane Ian, which was a whole thing. But oh yeah, well, I live in Southwest Florida, so I was like right in the path of it. But this is my relaxing thing, and while my power was out, I was knitting away. So, but everything's all right now.
Good.
So my main color is this like, it's probably going to show up as black, but it's like a dark chocolatey brown. And then my contrast is this olive color. And so I initially thought they were going to be too similar, but now I realize that they're actually just different enough to where it's subtle but really like strong, I guess.
Yeah.
And then my contrast is going to be this like steel blue. Let's see if that probably shows better back there. And so I am half Team Stash, half I had to go buy. So because I had this 2 skeins of the brown already in my stash, and it is actually a merino and yak and nylon base.
Ooh.
and I love like this kind of depth of color, because yak, when it's undyed, is not white. It's like a grayish color. And then I went to my local yarn shop and found this, which is also on a yak base, different dyer, but the same base. So they kind of have that moodiness to them, which I really love. And I'm on row 7 right now, so I can show spoilers. Here's where I'm at the moment.
Yay!
It's got a little bit of this section, you know, going. So yeah, I mean,
Mark doesn't want to know what's happening, so he's just looking at this and going, "Oh, those holes are interesting."
yeah,
Because in some years I've shown him what we're making that week, and then in other years he's had the mystery and he just sees me knitting. He's like, "Ah, okay." So this year we're going surprise.
Yeah.
Although I did try, and it's like when I saw the reveal, I was like, "You need to come and look at this." And then he was like, "No, I'm not looking. I'm not." So yeah.
I was also very interested to see that we don't use the third color until possibly next week, you know,
and no cabling.
right? At least not yet.
Not yet. Thank you very much. Your colors are great.
Well, do
Yeah.
you want to go to the second question of the poll?
We can do, because that's a very neat segue. So lots of you that have spoken so far have said Team Kit, Team Stash. So we've gone for, are you Team Kit, Team Stash, or Team Hand Dye? So answer that poll. And while you do that, we're going to get Irina to do a reveal, because if you watched our live, you know that I'm Team Kit and Irina's Team Stash, but had 2 choices. So come on, Irina, do the big reveal. Show everyone which are the 2 choices.
So I went blue, and I'm actually like absolutely loving how it's turning out. I wasn't sure if the gray has enough contrast, but it really does.
Yeah.
So.
And I've now caught you up, because earlier I didn't have this row on and Irina was ahead of me. I was fuming.
Well, I was trying to edit the first
You're
part,
not meant to wake up earlier. I'm meant to have a head start ahead.
Well, that's why I called you today, and I was like, let's do this reel where you like having your 3rd cup of coffee and I'm like 6 a.m. boom, knitting.
So we have the results and they are in. So we have 38% Team Kit, 55 Team Stash, and 8%. So 3 of you are Team Hand Dye. So any of the hand dyers want to pop your hands up and show us your wool? Be really interesting to see some of your hand dyed options. Reveal yourselves if you wish.
What is a hand dyed actually?
It's when you dye your yarn yourself. Hold on, while I have Dulcica here, I just want to introduce, she's a friend of mine from Boston, and she gifted me this bag. I was totally surprised. She surprised me with like, because I was thinking, should I get the kit, should I not? And she was like, I think you should have it. So now I have the bag.
That is awesome. What a great gift.
And oh, hold on, here we have
Stephanie, you've got your hands up. I think we've met before.
Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, hello. I showed my yarn this afternoon already, but I'm still awake, so I'm here again. I can't get enough.
Show us again.
This is my main color. It's gray with a little bit blue in it. And this is my contrast color. It's aubergine. And I'm very, very proud of this color because I mixed it myself with violet and red.
Nice.
Perfect as I planned it. And my color pop is this.
Beautiful.
That
And
color pop is going to be amazing.
And Stephanie was one of the humans of Westknits. So if you guys want to see her interview, she was in one of them.
Yeah. And I wanted to say another thing. I was very much looking forward to learn new techniques And already in the first row, there was a new technique for me, this cable cast on, never did. And I think I will use this technique very often from now.
I'm not
Because
enjoying that
perfect.
technique.
It's perfect. I love it.
I think I need, obviously, there's a lot of rows coming up that I can keep practicing it on. I've done it before on project, but it's really tight, it's really fiddly, and I'm not really enjoying it. Every time I've got to do that row, I'm like, oh, I think I could get quicker if I can just learn to do it properly.
I was wondering if you can just like twist and do that kind of cast on that, you know.
I did think if I could work out to fudge it that I could get it, but I was like, no, I can just make it work. I'm sure I can. It will be fine. Stephanie, your yarn, did you have the 3 colors in mind before you started dyeing, or did you just have a play? How does it work?
The main color and the contrast color I had in my mind.
Excellent.
But the color pop was a surprise for me. I surprised myself a bit. But I think it's perfect. And it's a new colorway for me. Most time I do with very, very much blue.
Well, same as me.
And I dyed also myself. So yeah.
Amazing. I've never hand dyed yet, and I feel like if I tell Mark that, that's going to be one skill too many.
I love it because it's as I said in the interview, it's double happiness. If you knit with your self-dyed, hand-dyed yarn. It's great.
Excellent.
Do we want to try the? Thank you, Stephanie.
Do we have any anyone from Team Stash that wants to come on and flash this stash? Show us what you've chosen.
I will.
Hello.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello. Hi, Irina.
How are you?
Good. How are you? So I chose these as my 2 main colors.
Nice.
And then I was going to do this as the pop.
Ooh.
But now I'm thinking maybe I will do this one instead. So what are your thoughts on that?
I like both of them.
I do too.
Well, that doesn't help.
How about eeny, meeny, money, more?
So I think I'm going to go with this one because I think I'll actually be happier with this one.
That's the main thing. Like whatever your soul gravitates towards.
Right. Thank you, Katie.
I was just going to say, you're getting 2 positive comments as well in there. So I think we're definitely the second option. Yeah.
Okay. I'll do the second one then.
Excellent. Well, that leads again. These aren't teed up. These people don't know what we're going to ask, but this does lead us neatly into the third question that we were going to ask. So we were thinking about different colors because, again, if you've watched the live, you'll know that I've gone for the brown autumnal colors from La Bien-Aimée, but I wanted Irina's colors. I wanted gray and blue or gray or yellow, and Mark poo-pooed the idea and told me I had to go for brown. So what have you gone for this year? Are you your usual colors or have you gone for something new? I'm still not giving up hope that I'm going to get a blue and gray one. I'm going to have to make him the brown one first, though.
Dulcika, you want to tell us what was your decision?
Hello, everyone. I want to say you guys are amazing, both Martin and Irina, and whoever's your friend is my friend on this Zoom. I'm so excited to be connecting with everyone. So anyway, I was post-call today, and I actually was winding the yarn half an hour ago, and I'm casting off my contrast color. And I'm just like, no, this is not the contrast color. This is the accent color. And I'm just like, oh, shoot, I mixed them because this is my contrast color and this is my main color. So this is going to be these 2. And then I'm going to have this one. And this is totally out of my comfort zone. I don't know if I'll ever wear this, but it looks
so beautiful. Well,
it's not so amazing.
Swap. Like I'll give you mine, you'll give me yours if you're not.
We can work on that. Yes, of course. But I'm also into like beiges and soft and lots of grays. And actually I bought another kit, black and white, like very conservative. And I'm just like, what the hell? I'm just gonna go wild. And I ordered the most neon and most extravagant and most extreme color. And I'm just like, I have to accept that kind of difference in color or something that I'm seeing and be open to something new. So I think this color choice is my being open. This is how I think of
Stephen
it.
would definitely approve of that choice.
Yeah, absolutely. That color pink is just going to look amazing.
Yes. But it's funny how I cast it on the wrong one. So I'm now starting all over again. It's kind of funny. And
that
I
was a
do not have
practice
wine
run.
ready. I think next Zoom we have, I'm going to have a wine ready. So that will calm me down and focus.
Do it. Do it.
Thank
Can
you.
I ask?
Thank you.
Can I ask Roberta to come off mute and tell us, because Roberta is doing 2 of these.
Ooh.
Roberta, we need to know more. How are you going to manage to do 2? And can we see the colors, please? Where are you?
Yeah.
I'm looking for Roberta. We'll come back to Roberta maybe.
Does anyone who going with colors that outside of your comfort zone wants to show us your colors also?
I can.
Okay, go for it.
So purple is my favorite color, but I actually haven't ever done shawls in purple. And I'm Team Kit. So I have these, which is the Life in the Long Grass purple parasol or parasol crush. And I am actually also maybe doing 2. So
tell us more.
My second kit is not wound yet, but it is also Life in the Long Grass, and it is the agate. So
love that one.
So this one theoretically is closer to my colors, but I decided to do the purple first.
And will they both be for you, or will you knit one and then give one away?
I actually am probably going to give the purple one away, despite the fact purple is my favorite color, to my nurse who also likes purple. So it'll probably be a Christmas present for her, and then I'll keep this one.
What an amazing gift!
That's
yeah. She kind of helped me select the colors, so I kind of figured I owe it to her.
And do you think you're going to get to the end of week 1? If you finish this clue, will you then start the second one, or will you do a whole shawl and then go back and do another whole shawl?
I'll probably do the whole shawl and then go back and do the second one.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get behind. I'm also trying to finish a Rhinebeck sweater, which is the pink in the background.
Oh, and by the way, if any of you guys going to Rhinebeck, I'll be at the Podcaster Hill 12 to 1, both on Saturday and Sunday. Please come say hi. I would love to meet you all in person. So say hi to me. Or if you just see me walking there.
Please go and distract her and don't give her any extra knitting time, because this is how I'm going to catch up from Speedy.
I'm actually making my husband drive. I live in Maine, so I'm making my husband drive so I can knit on the way.
That is a good plan. And then anyone that's chosen colors that are completely in your usual choice, then that you've not gone for anything out of the ordinary. Katie, you got your hand up. Emily, you've got your hand up. Katie, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, so my colors actually are fairly bright, but I also, it's funny, when I was picking these out, and this is my contrast. So these are the main and contrast, and then this is the pop. And if I angled my camera right and turned off my background, you would see that I have a teal bedspread. And I have a quilt on my bed that my mom made me when I went off to college that is like magenta, sorry, the backgrounds, and has like purple accents. So I was like, yeah, I thought I was going, you know, bright and more like Stephen West colors, but also apparently very much in my usual palette.
they're there subliminally in your head, and you turn around and you go, "Uh-oh, how have I done this?"
Well, at least, I mean, I live in Texas, so it's hot, and the likelihood of me getting to wear this out of the house is, you know, a very small window, but at least I can always use it to like cuddle up in my room and it will match. So
It is the one joy of being in the UK when we have rubbish weather, because I work in a large office. There's about 2,000 people usually in the office,
yeah.
but still post-COVID, there's lots of people just working from home. So there's maybe
Mhm.
100 people in the whole office, but they haven't worked out to turn the air conditioning down because there's less people. So I've been sitting at
Mhm.
my desk every day last week with a shawl wrapped around me. And my boss is like, "What's that you're wearing?" It's like, "Oh, it's one of mine." And I'm sitting there like a little old lady with my shawl wrapped around my shoulders because I'm freezing. So shawl weather, I'm very glad for. It's the only benefit of the British weather, I think,
Yes.
is that we get to wear a lot of knitwear.
Yep.
Emily, do you want to tell
Thank you
us
for
about
showing us your
where-
yarn. Sorry?
Emily, do you want to go next?
Yeah.
Am I unmuted now? Okay.
You are. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, no color is really outside of my comfort zone except for like gray and tan. So the colors that are everyone else's comfort zones is like me going, no. I mean, this is literally neon, all neons. So my main and contrast are Halloween.
Nice. Good time of year.
because It's perfect. Also known as year round. This literally beware sign is up year round because I'm that person. And then my color pop is this. It's a lot brighter in person than it comes up on camera ever.
Oh, I don't know. It looks quite bright.
It trust me, it's brighter in person. Because I did a YouTube video for it too, so I'm like, it's not capturing correctly, but it's very bright. And I thought that because these are opposites on the color wheel, that they'd really, you know.
Yeah, they're going to be brilliant together.
Yes.
And Emily is also
Awesome.
like one of the humans of Westknits. Are we going to the next poll?
Yes, we will. So there's a few of you wearing previous MKALs. So we thought we would try and find out what the average was for how many MKALs people have done. So let us know. So we know that Irina's in the first time camp. I'm in the 1 to 3 camp because I've done the last 3, but that's it. There's one person who selected done them all. Please be prepared to come off mute. We're going to need to know details. And the 9 to 11 person. This is exciting.
Yeah, if you are the done them all, please raise your hand.
Yes.
Or jump right in.
Yeah. Right. I will share the results, which is really interesting. So half of you here are first timers, which is awesome. So I guess, yeah, if you're in the 9 to 11 or they've done them all and you're happy to come and chat to us and tell us about your previous shawls, do that. And then similarly, if you're in the first time group, we would love to know why you decided to jump in now. So stick some hands up.
Any volunteers?
And then we can all send Emily some good wishes because Emily's just said in the chat that she's missed 2 decreases, so she's going to have to tink back. I hope that wasn't our fault.
Helen, would you
Chat in.
unmute? Helen? Have you done them all?
No, I'm just first time.
Oh, perfect.
Excellent.
You're with me on that. It's my first time as well. So
What made you
did you
jump in
have?
then?
Because of Martin.
Oh. Sorry.
Don't blame everything on Martin.
Of course I can.
Have you done shawls before? Is it the first mystery or is it your first shawl project as well?
First knitted shawl. my
Excellent.
first cow as well.
Well, please keep us posted on your progress because we want to make sure that you're enjoying this process. And if you don't, we'll blame Martin.
Yeah, it'll always be my fault.
If you enjoy it,
course.
like I'll take credit for that, but if not, we'll blame Martin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But no, that's awesome. Thank you, Helen.
That's okay.
Who's next? Rachel?
Rachel, you want to unmute?
This was my first, and it is Irina's fault.
Yes, we're sharing the pain.
I got a class of the FOMO, and so I saw that my friend there, Pearl Monster, she actually was doing it as well. So I figured, okay, I'll go ahead and try. So
well,
I was
your
even asking Irina
expectation?
about the colors and everything. So
What's your expectation from this knit along? Like, what are you hoping and what are you afraid of?
well, since I saw some of yours and I just barely started on mine, I don't know, I saw that it was chevron. I'm not a fan of chevron, only because I have crocheted those so many times in the past. But I'm sure it will look just fine and everything. The I-cord, I'm getting used to that because I'm not used to those as well. But my expectation is learning something new. Hopefully it will help me improve on my cables as well, since I know that there's going to be cables. But other than that, I think that it's going to be fun. It's something interesting and new and different. The mystery part to me is hard because I like to know what it looks like. I'm one of those that I've crocheted since I was 12, and I can crochet just about anything. If you give me a picture, I can mimic it and I can probably crochet it for you.
Wow.
But when it comes to knitting, it's not as much. So I'm still learning. I've actually started knitting right before the pandemic, and I'm addicted to socks. So shawls are not exactly my thing, but I've been test knitting some shawls and sample knitting some shawls lately. And so I figured, okay, I'll go ahead and try one of Stephen's shawls. So
Awesome.
Here I am. I'm so glad you did decide that.
But it's still Irina's fault.
Of course.
I love you, Irina.
Right back at you. We have Zoom user. Would you like to unmute yourself? And do you want to answer that? I don't know the name.
Is that me?
That's you.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name's Marilyn. I'm from North Carolina.
Hi.
And I think I'm in really big trouble. I don't know if you could see anything, but I got my yarn. I got my yarn in my hand. I'm rolling it on a ball because I have the Swift and I have the yarn winder, but I'm so new that I got tangled somehow, and now I have to do it before it gets dark. So I don't know. Irina, I watch you all the time. Martin, you too. I watch you. And Stephen inspired me also because he teaches you. And I'm a very new, not a very new, but I'm an advanced beginner. But I can't even wind the ball of yarn. I have to
Kind
go
to
get a bottle
yourself
of
and
wine.
like slow down, and it's gonna somehow unwind itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy this, and I love all your podcasts, and I learn a lot from watching both of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We send you good wishes for your yarn, and I often find it's easy to put it down, go and have a cup of tea, and then it'll be fine. You'll get
I need
there.
a bottle of champagne. Something.
If
But
I was
thank you.
closer, I would offer to do it for you. There's something quite therapeutic about trying to untangle it, and you get a good sense of satisfaction at the end. I know it won't feel like it now.
Well, this is the first skein, so I'm thinking that maybe by the time I finish this one, it was cutting the yarn, the little yarn ties, and putting it on the Swift. I'll figure it out. But thank you.
Yes.
Best of luck. And then
Thank
we
you.
have iPad user that I also don't know the name. Would you like to unmute yourself?
I don't know how to turn off.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, sorry. Hi, my name is Anna. I thought my name comes up. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, I just want to say that I have knitted all the mystery knit alongs except for the Rockefeller. So I started with Exploration Station, and then I went back and I needed Color Craving, and I think it's Earth. Oh, I don't remember the other name. Yeah, I mean, I love Stephen West. He's my favorite designer. I have needed, I don't know, I think all the 40, 50 shawls that I have mainly are from him.
Well,
yeah,
I
love
asked
him.
this question a lot of people. Do you see how he's changing as a designer through by knitting his shawls? Do you see how?
Oh, definitely. They are becoming now blankets. I mean, they used to be small ones, and now they are huge. So you wrap yourself up and enjoy them. And it has pushed me to try new colors. I have used to be very conservative, and now I'm like unstoppable. I try all colors.
What are your colors for this one?
This one, I'm into reds. I have never wear red, but all of a sudden I felt like I need to try red. So I like Walk Collection. So I'm doing powder, claret, and pomodoro.
Oh, that's gonna be gorgeous.
That's gonna be lush, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite of all the mystery ones that you've done?
It is hard to tell. It's like choosing a favorite child, right? I love them all, and I like the process, and I like learning new techniques. But Exploration Station and maybe Starflex, and then Sleep Extravagant. Oh, I can't. I love them all.
What I like is looking back, if you look how simple, say, Rockefeller was, compared to what we've got now, you, like Irina said, you can see the evolution, that there's so much more technique and mystery in from where he started to where we've got now for like the 13th or whatever we're on now, which is great to see.
Definitely. And thank you for organizing this. I follow both of you and I enjoy you both.
Thank you. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Janet, would you like to unmute yourself?
Sure, I'm just busy cleaning up stuff. I didn't want you guys to have to hear me clean up stuff.
Where are you, Janet? Make me very jealous. It's been grey and raining in the UK today.
I am. I'll make you super jealous. You got to see these fall colors. I'm in northern. I'll flip my camera here. I can do that. I'm in northern Alberta, northern Canada, northern Alberta.
That's beautiful.
That's well, and the colors are actually sort of muted today too. They're sort of, that tree right there was really bright red, and now it's sort of muted a bit. Yeah, and it's been gorgeous. We've been having a really unusual warm summer, or warm fall, sorry.
Nice.
So yeah, so I better get out here and enjoy this weather while I can before we get 6 feet of snow.
Yeah.
Well, are you like first time Westknits knitter?
Yes, first time, yes. And my yarn dealer, Tara at that Yarn Habit, who's in Grand Prairie, who sells my dealer. I call her my dealer.
I love that.
She was doing it and dyeing yarn for it, so that's sort of what got me into it. So
yeah,
you know, just a few sweaters on the go too, but no, we can do this too. So
it'll all get done.
So this is I swatched. I've learned since my sweater knitting to swatch, and so I'll flip the camera again. I just find it there. So where's flip camera? Flip. And it won't flip. Okay, won't flip. So this is my colors.
Nice.
For my swatch. So that sort of dusty rose, that's going to be my pop. And then the dark and the light are my two contrasting mains colors.
Those contrasts are lovely together.
So those are my swatches. Yeah, and this is my little yarn. They just look so good. I love caking them up. I just love I love the look, and yeah. I love everything fiber, of course. So this is my first one. So, and Tara said, you can do it. Watch his videos. You'll be fine. You'll learn something new. And that's so far today. I haven't had a chance to actually do his, but I've watched the videos. He is very, very good. Very, very good at explaining. And I'm anxious. I'm excited to learn something new. And hopefully I can keep up. But oh well, videos will be there forever.
Well,
they absolutely will.
Keep us posted on your progress. We would love to see your progress.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And guys, if you're on Instagram, and we came up with the new hashtag.
Oh.
So it's Martin, help me out. What was the hashtag?
Fiber365. I'll stick it in the comments.
Yeah. So if you're on Instagram and you want to post anything about the mystery knit along, use that hashtag. We both started following it, and you can follow it as well. And we're going to see all your posts this way, and we'll share them in our stories or just say hi.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love when you say hi.
And then I guess, so with half of you here today doing your first mystery knit along, I know Irina's answer, but I would love to know what your answer is in terms of mystery, love or hate it. How are you going to cope without knowing what's happening? Are you on board with the surprise, or do you need to know it all now? Get those votes in. I'm intrigued to see how Irina's going to cope for the month. Having just the snippet.
Well, you've been a bad influence, because I decided to like knit something else before or in between. So I just finished this shawl like literally last night. And
That's amazing.
started a cabled hat last night as well. So I have like, and I'm supposed to do another secret test knit. So I have a few things on the back burner that I can entertain myself in case I'm flying through the clues. But you know what? I must tell you, like the first clue, I thought it's going to be like 3-4 hours and I'm out, and it's not. Like, so I was already surprised by the first clue.
I started counting earlier, so similar to what Kieran said about trying to be a process and understand how things work. I was like, right, I think it's going to take me about 15 minutes a row. So if it's a six row repeat at 15 minutes, I started to work it out. So that's coming up tomorrow, because I need to work out now. I think it's going to take me 2 days. So I might be able to knit all day tomorrow and all day Sunday, because I'm at a yarn show on Saturday. So I could have this clue finished by Sunday. But I need to work it out in my head, because I'm definitely trying to work out how long each section will take me. But if I didn't have tomorrow off, I'm thinking, oh God, that's going to take me up to Wednesday now, isn't it? If I've only got like hours in the evening.
Well, I must
it.
tell you, so like for all of you guys who like going to be knitting all day long, I have a video coming up this Sunday where I interviewed a yoga instructor who is also, she's organizing knitting retreats and yoga retreats combined. And she showed some exercises for the knitters, especially how to like keep your hands from getting hurt and all that stuff. So if you want to check that video, it's coming on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. She's gonna talk about all the yoga exercises and the importance of taking a break.
That will be awesome. Does anyone who voted Tell Me Now on the last poll want to come and share? How are you going to plan on, you're going to have to live with it because he's obviously not going to tell you now, but does anyone want to come and discuss how you're going to manage
the mystery part?
Yeah, for sure. I'm also keen if Debbie wants to come and talk, because Debbie doesn't even read ahead on the pattern, so that's like proper no spoilers. I'm intrigued by that. I've at least watched the video for this week so that I know exactly where I'm going, and I'm quite happy with that then, because I feel like I know what I'm doing this week. I have to have a little spoiler. I couldn't. Yeah, no. I think there are some people on Ravelry, aren't there? They're in the no spoiler thread and they don't know. Like the gentleman that we had on the party earlier, yeah, that is literally doing it one row at a time, and even to get his mum to decide which was contrast color or main color, because he didn't want to have any spoilers.
Well,
that's
I must tell you, like, the reason I looked at Steven's video was not because I wanted to see the spoiler, but because I was too lazy to figure out how to do the cast on, for the cable cast on. So I was like, okay, let me see how Steven shows it. And then, of course, I watched it till the end, but it wasn't to see the clue per se. It was more like to figure out the technique and how he shows it.
And then once you're there, you may as well finish it.
Right. And he gives a lot of like very helpful tips. I found, like, he would remind you to like not to do I-cord too tightly, like loosen up your grip for the I-cord. So like there's a lot of like little, or how to like twist your yarn so you carry your yarn, you know. So like he puts a lot of like little tips into that. And then when he was like, listen, even if it's 10 stitches difference, just budget, you know, don't stress over it. So it's sort of
Yeah,
Oh,
although
black.
one of my rows, I'd only done the cast on. I'd only cast on 9 instead of 12 for some reason. So I got to the end and I was 3 short, and then I went to go and fudge it. So I can't fudge 3 stitches, but it was only the repeat just before the end of the row, so I tinked it back.
Right.
And I fixed that bit, but I did think I could fudge it, and then no, I thought I can't fudge 3 stitches. I don't know how I miscounted completely.
But does anybody wants to tell us in your view on mystery? Are you a fan of mystery?
Here, I'll tell. I just don't look ahead at all.
That's very disciplined, Debbie.
Yeah, I just read the pattern down a couple lines, and like the video, like I watched the video, but then I stop it. So I've watched 7 minutes of the video so far. And Martin, I don't watch you until I'm always worried about watching Vlogtober. Last year I was, because the year before I think I found you at the end of the mystery knit along. But
Yep.
last year I didn't watch your videos until I would catch up because I was afraid that you would spoil it.
Funny enough, Irina and I were talking about this, about one of the things I really struggled with is what the thumbnail should be, because it's really hard to take a picture of the knitting for this week without giving anything away. So like this week's thumbnail is going to be the yarn and that's it. But it's really hard not to give spoilers away. So again, I don't blame you. If you don't want spoilers, I kind of say that in the beginning of the video. It's like, you're all here, you're going to get spoilers. But yeah, no, it's great that you're here. Thank you for joining in and thank you for watching the videos. I appreciate you.
And you can all catch up in November.
Yes. Right. Any other questions from people? Anyone want to put their hand up, ask a general knitting question, MKAL question, anything before we start to wrap up our hour? Because we've done an hour already. We could do these for hours, literally, I feel like.
Well,
I have a question. Is there an easy way to mark 120 stitches? How many he wants? Once I saw that, and I'm gonna go, oh shoot, how I'm gonna count this? Any tips for that?
I got to 160 earlier and then had to rip some out because I just kept going and miscounted.
I put a stitch marker every 25. So I'd count and do 25 and then I'd look about the same and like count them. And that way I knew kind of about where I was. And then I just took them out after I did the second row.
That's smart.
That is smart. It's the simplest thing sometimes, rather than me just aimlessly carrying on.
Well, that's the beauty of.
I also do that I-cord.
Yeah,
I do the I-cord cast on with DPNs, and it's a lot easier because then you can just move the needle instead of having to slip the stitches back.
That's true. That's clever.
I didn't even think of that either. That's, yeah. Katie was telling me on Katie was on the 6 p.m. UK time call, but when it comes to picking up stitches in the I-cord, he uses a crochet hook. I'm not really sure how he does that, but he doesn't do it the way Stephen does it. He does it with a crochet hook, which I'm guessing he goes in with a crochet hook and then he pulls the yarn back through. But I don't know if that would help anybody. But he did all of his pickups using the crochet, and I was like, that sounds really complicated. I'm not sure I can get on board with that.
If that sounds interesting, just contact Kaiti and he'll explain it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I pick up my stitches, is with a crochet hook.
All right.
Ah, I wondered, Rachel, when you said that you were a crocheter who now knits, whether that might be something that you would recognize.
Sorry.
Well, let's say a toast to the successful start of the Westknits knit-along. So
I have a question.
I
have a question.
Go for it.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Sorry, it feels quite important to me. It's probably not, but so with the I-cord, so this year was my first year that I did a project with I-cord, and it's a little baby, a kid romper, and it's got like I-cord bind off and cast on actual I-cord. And so the dilemma for me is that, well, when I get worried about doing a good job with my knitting, I tend to try to make things sort of tight and fine, because in my mind, I know it's not always true, but I feel like loose, I feel like it's not neat. And actually when I did this, I actually undid my cord and redid some of it quite a lot, and it took me forever. But the thing is that and this is not a shawl, it's a garment, so it's different. But when I saw the other test knitters projects, they had loose cord, and I didn't like it. With this, I was actually really happy that I don't know how much you can see, but I was really happy with how neat my cord was. I actually had to do more stitches to make it long enough because my stitches were tighter, and so that meant it was a shorter cord. But looking at Stevens, it's like so loose compared to what I did.
Like big spoiler alert, but have you watched to the end of that video?
Oh, I skipped through. Yeah. So I
did you see what's happening? Did you see what's happening with the cords at the end?
I didn't see the process of how, but I saw like how it's going to be attached to a different thing and pulled and
and I
all of that.
I think in general, I think he's quite a loose knitter.
Right.
When I look at his previous shawls in the videos and then I look at mine, mine is always a lot tighter than his is. And I would say, don't worry. I don't know what anyone else would think, but I would say, don't worry about the cord per se, because it's almost a vehicle for you to pick the stitches up for the shawl to grow. So as long as you're happy with the fabric that you've got, as long as you can put your needle in, so you don't want it too tight that you can't put the needle in to pick the stitches up. As long as you can get the needle in, I don't think it matters specifically if your cord is a little bit tighter. But sometimes, like when I've done other shawls and I've done an cord bind off, I'll actually go up a needle size to make it bigger so that it doesn't pull in, so you get it nice and stretchy.
I did that. Yeah, I had to actually ended up having to do that, I think, with this.
Yeah, so you might do that again, but I wouldn't. Again, the cord's not the feature. The cord is just the ability for you to grow it. So don't worry don't stress too much about the tension on the cord.
So it doesn't need to be a certain length. It doesn't need to like be a certain length.
No, because as long as you're making the cord so that you can pick up 125 stitches or whatever the pattern was. So as long as you can pick up the right number of stitches, then no, you'll be fine.
It'll just expand out as you're knitting the rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can I add something to that I actually found out? So because I'm not the biggest fan of doing cord, like I can do it and it's fine. And I'm also kind of in the same boat where I feel like I need to do it tightly, but I forced myself to do it looser. And I realized when you initially do it, it's going to look a little messy when you do it loosely, but to make it look more polished, all you need to do is tug on it. And it will actually even out the tension all the way around the cord. So I was like, doing 5 or 6 rounds and then tugging on it and kind of smoothing it out and then doing a few more rounds and tugging on it. And that still ended up with a bouncy, springy cord. But it looks smooth and it looks even. So if that's helpful.
Thank you. Yeah.
There were a few nods then, Brian. I think there's a few other people that do something similar. There was a few nods as you were saying about pulling it to give the
so don't be afraid to do it loose, because if you tug on it, it will even out the tension automatically by virtue of how it's constructed.
Great tip. Thank you.
Of course.
And also feel free, like if you guys stuck on anything, feel free to DM Martin on me, or we'll try to help as much as we can if we can.
Absolutely.
Post in our videos as a communal question, and we'll try to do another live. I don't know if we're gonna manage to do another Zoom. We might try. I don't know. It's like the schedule right now is a little bit in the air, but Martin is gonna do Vlogtober. I'm gonna continue with the Humans of Westknits. So again, if you want to participate in that, just shoot me an email to fiberchats@gmail.com and we'll set up the time for that. And thank you all for joining us today. It was so lovely to see so many familiar faces and new faces, and it was like really lovely. Can I ask everybody to raise their yarn first, and we'll take a picture and then we'll do a toast.
And I'm gonna film you all for behind the scenes in my next Vlogtober, so you can all wave at the camera as you're doing this, because this is the behind the scenes stuff that people want to see. Look at all these yarn. Awesome, folks.
Thank you, and cheers. Thank you all
Cheers
for
to the
joining
MKAL.
us. Cheers, and I hope you enjoy it, and feel free to text Martin and I.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. It's been amazing.
Thank
Good
you
luck
so
with your
much for
knitting.
hosting us.
Thank you. Take care.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Speak to you soon.